The last line of defense. The Galactic Alliance's central command floated in the void of space, a massive structure of crystalline alloys and quantum circuitry that had stood as a beacon of civilization for over 10,000 years. Today, it felt more like a tomb. Admiral Zexra, her translucent tentacles rippling with anxiety, watched the holographic display showing another galaxy being consumed by the entity they called the Void. Another complete loss, she announced to the assembled council. The Andromeda 7 cluster is gone. 3 trillion sentient beings, just gone. Her voice, usually steady after centuries of command, wavered slightly. The council chamber, filled with representatives from the 1,000 most advanced species in the known universe, remained silent. They had witnessed this scene too many times in the past decade. The Void, an ancient cosmic entity that had awakened from some unknown dimension, was consuming entire galaxies with an insatiable hunger. First Officer K'tal, a crystalline being from the silicon-based Meridian civilization, interfaced with the central database. Our predictive models indicate our galaxy will be reached in approximately 3 standard cycles. Our most advanced weapons have proven ineffective. The quantum collapse bombs, the dimensional shredders, even the star-killer arrays, nothing seems to affect it. The despair in the room was palpable. The Galactic Alliance represented the pinnacle of technological achievement, the combined knowledge of 1,000,000 years of scientific advancement. Yet they were helpless against this threat. Then, something unexpected happened. A junior analyst, barely a century into her service, burst into the chamber. Under normal circumstances, such a breach of protocol would have been unthinkable, but these were not normal times. "Admiral," she gasped, her photosynthetic skin glowing with excitement. "We've detected an anomaly. A single solar system at the edge of the Orion Arm is showing resistance to the Void's influence." The chamber erupted in murmurs. Resistance was impossible. Nothing had resisted the Void. "Show me," Admiral Zexra commanded. The holographic display shifted to a seemingly unremarkable yellow star with 9 planets. The third planet, a blue-green marble, glowed with an unusual energy signature. "We've never noticed this system before," K'tal observed. "It's in an unexplored sector, outside our standard trade routes." As they watched, a tendril of the Void's darkness approached the system. But instead of the immediate consumption they had witnessed countless times before, something different happened. The tendril recoiled, as if it had touched something hot. "What in the name of the First Ones?" Admiral Zexra whispered. The junior analyst, still catching her breath, explained. "The planet appears to be inhabited by a species that's never made contact with the Alliance. They call themselves humans." The Council dispatched their most advanced stealth observation vessel to study this anomaly. The ship, commanded by Science Director Venra, a member of the hyper-intelligent Arxian species, approached Earth's orbit with utmost caution. What they discovered defied their understanding of physics and consciousness itself. "These humans," Venra reported back to the Council, "they're primitive by our standards. They haven't even colonized their own solar system." And yet, the scientists' crystalline form shimmered with excitement. They're doing something impossible. The humans, it seemed, had unconsciously developed a collective psionic field. Every human thought, every dream, every burst of emotion contributed to an invisible barrier surrounding their world. But it wasn't just a shield. It was something more fundamental. "They're literally changing the fabric of reality around their planet," Venra explained. "Their consciousness, especially their emotions and creativity, generates a form of energy we've never encountered before. It's as if they're constantly rewriting the local laws of physics without even realizing it." Admiral Zexra studied the data streams flooding in from Earth. The humans were devastating their own planet through industrial development, fighting amongst themselves over resources and ideology. And yet, there was something extraordinary about them. Their art, their music, their stories, all of it seemed to strengthen this mysterious field. "But how?" First Officer K'tal demanded. How can a species barely out of their planetary atmosphere be generating this kind of power? The answer came from an unexpected source. Dr. Lix, a temporal anthropologist, had been quietly analyzing human history. "It's because they're young," she said softly. "They haven't learned what's impossible yet." The council chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Every species in the Alliance had developed along predictable technological paths, gradually losing their capacity for what they considered irrational thought as they advanced. But humans still believed in magic, in miracles, in the impossible. "We need to make contact," Admiral Zexra decided. "But we must be careful. If we simply appear in their skies, we risk disrupting the very thing that makes them special." The decision was made to send in a small team, disguised using advanced morphic technology to appear human. Their mission: to understand how humanity had unconsciously developed this power and whether it could be replicated on a galactic scale. Dr. Lix volunteered to lead the contact team. "We need to approach them not as advanced beings bringing salvation, but as equals seeking understanding," she argued. "Their strength lies in their belief that anything is possible. If we shatter that belief with our technology, we might destroy their power." As the contact team prepared for their mission, the void continued its inexorable advance across the universe. But for the first time since this crisis began, there was hope. In a small, unremarkable solar system, an equally unremarkable species was doing the impossible simply because no one had ever told them they couldn't. The fate of every galaxy, every civilization, every sentient being now rested on humanity's shoulders. And they didn't even know it yet. Project Prometheus. Dr. Sarah Chen never expected to make first contact with aliens in her small quantum consciousness lab at MIT. She had been studying the relationship between human consciousness and quantum mechanics for 15 years, pursuing a theory that most of her colleagues considered fringe science at best, career suicide at worst. But here she was, face to face with beings that only appeared human on the surface. "Your research," said the woman who called herself Dr. Lix, her movements just slightly too smooth to be natural, "is more important than you realize." Sarah's graduate student, Marcus Williams, sat beside her, his dark fingers drumming nervously on the lab table. They had just witnessed their visitors shift between their human disguises and their true forms, a display that violated every law of physics they knew. "So our consciousness," Sarah said slowly, "is actually generating some kind of field." "More than a field," Dr. Lix explained. "Your species has been unconsciously manipulating quantum reality since your earliest days. Every story you tell, every piece of art you create, every moment of hope or love or determination, it all contributes to a collective reformation of local space-time." Marcus leaned forward. "Is that why our quantum experiments kept giving us impossible results? We were actually changing the outcome by believing we could." "Precisely." Dr. Lix's human facade flickered slightly with excitement. "Your species never developed the rigid mental frameworks that usually come with technological advancement. You maintain your capacity for what you call magical thinking alongside your scientific development. It's unprecedented." Sarah thought about all the times her experiments had produced results that shouldn't have been possible, results she'd been afraid to publish. "But why tell us now? Why reveal yourselves?" The alien scientists shared a look that conveyed volumes even through their human disguises. Finally, Dr. Lix spoke. "Because the universe is dying. Something is consuming entire galaxies, and your species' unique abilities may be our only hope of stopping it." Over the next few hours, they learned about the void, the failed attempts to stop it, and humanity's unexpected resistance to its power. But it was when they started discussing the practical applications that things got interesting. "The problem," Marcus said, pacing the lab, "isn't just harnessing this ability, it's scaling it up. If what you're saying is true, we need to somehow amplify humanity's collective consciousness field to a galactic scale. That's where your quantum consciousness interface comes in," Dr. Lix said, gesturing to the experimental apparatus that dominated the center of the lab. You've already created a crude method of directing human consciousness into quantum systems. With our technology, we could enhance this to levels you never imagined. Sarah felt a chill run down her spine. Project Prometheus, she whispered. The others turned to look at her. In Greek mythology, Prometheus stole fire from the gods and gave it to humanity, she explained. He gave them the power of the divine. That's what we're trying to do here, harness the power of human consciousness itself. Dr. Lix's team shared another look. An apt name, one of them said. But there's something else you should know. We've calculated that the void will reach Earth in less than 6 months. The room fell silent. 6 months to develop technology that could harness and amplify humanity's latent reality warping abilities. 6 months to prepare humanity's consciousness to face an entity that had consumed countless advanced civilizations. We'll need more people, Marcus said finally. Other scientists, engineers, but how do we explain this without causing panic? We don't, Sarah replied, her mind already racing with possibilities. We present it as a breakthrough in quantum computing. Something revolutionary but not world-shattering. We let people's natural curiosity and creativity drive the project forward. Dr. Lix nodded approvingly. The power of human consciousness is strongest when it's organic, unforced. If people knew the true stakes, their fear might actually weaken the field. And so Project Prometheus began. Under the guise of a revolutionary quantum computing initiative, Sarah and Marcus began assembling a team of the brightest minds from around the world. The alien scientists provided advanced technology disguised as breakthrough human innovations, while carefully monitoring the growth of Earth's consciousness field. But as the project progressed, they discovered something unexpected. The more humans worked together on the project, the more their collective consciousness began to affect not just local space-time, but the fundamental structure of reality itself. Dreams became more vivid across the globe. People reported moments of impossible coincidence and inexplicable phenomena. The universe itself seemed to be responding to humanity's awakening potential. The question was, would it be enough to face the void when it finally arrived? The breaking point. The first direct contact with the void came sooner than anyone expected. Sarah was working late in the quantum consciousness lab when every instrument they had suddenly spiked off the charts. Marcus burst through the door, his tablet displaying a cascade of alerts. "It's here," he gasped. A tendril of the void just entered the solar system. The alien observers had warned them this might happen. As Project Prometheus amplified humanity's consciousness field, it would inevitably attract the void's attention, but no one expected it so soon. Sarah activated the emergency protocols they'd established. Within minutes, the lab was filled with both human scientists and disguised alien observers. Dr. Lix's true form flickered through her human disguise as she interfaced with their monitoring systems. "The void is probing," she announced, "testing Earth's defenses. But there's something else. It's curious. We've never seen it exhibit this behavior before." On the main display, they could see the tendril of absolute darkness approaching Earth. Unlike its usual behavior of immediate consumption, it moved almost cautiously, sending out smaller filaments that tested the barrier of humanity's collective consciousness. "All monitoring stations, report status," Sarah commanded. Around the world, other quantum consciousness labs had been established under the guise of a distributed quantum computing network. Each one helped focus and amplify humanity's latent ability to affect reality. The reports came in. London, stable. Beijing, holding. New Delhi, strong interference but maintaining. Sao Paulo, experiencing fluctuations. Sydney, critical readings but contained. The consciousness field is holding, Marcus reported, but there's something strange in these readings. The void. It's not just testing our defenses. It's trying to communicate. Dr. Lix moved to his station, her alien eyes widening at the data. Impossible. The void has never attempted communication. It simply consumes. Sarah felt a strange sensation in her mind, like a whisper just below the threshold of hearing. Around the lab, others were touching their temples, expressions confused. It's reaching out to our consciousness directly, she realized. Quick, redirect power to the quantum interface. If it wants to communicate, let's give it a channel. The lab hummed with energy as they reconfigured their equipment. The quantum consciousness interface, originally designed to focus and amplify human consciousness, now became a two-way bridge. The first contact was overwhelming. Images and sensations flooded through the interface. Endless hunger, ancient loneliness, and a desperate search for something lost eons ago. The void wasn't simply a force of destruction. It was an entity of pure consciousness that had forgotten its own nature. It's looking for connection. Sarah gasped, her mind reeling from the contact. All this time, it's been consuming galaxies trying to fill some kind of void within itself. Marcus gripped her arm as another wave of communication washed over them. But our consciousness is different. The way we connect with each other, our emotions, our creativity. It reminds it of something. Dr. Lix and her team were frantically analyzing the data. The void. It's ancient, perhaps as old as the universe itself, and it's recognizing something in human consciousness that it lost long ago. But the connection was taking its toll. All around the world, people were experiencing intense headaches, vivid hallucinations, and moments of shared consciousness. The barrier protecting Earth flickered as humanity's collective psyche struggled to handle the immense pressure of communicating with such an ancient entity. We can't maintain this, Marcus warned. The quantum interface is overloading. If we don't break the connection, we risk burning out humanity's consciousness field entirely. Sarah knew he was right, but she also sensed something crucial in the void's communication. Wait, she said. It's trying to show us something. Something about the origin of consciousness itself. The lab's equipment sparked and smoked as reality itself seemed to bend around them. Through the quantum interface, the void shared a fragment of its ancient memory. A time before time, when consciousness first emerged in the universe. It had been whole once, connected to all things, until something shattered it, scattered it across dimensions. And now, in humanity's unique form of consciousness, it recognized a piece of itself. The breaking point isn't just about our technology failing, Sarah realized. It's about understanding what we really are, what consciousness really is. We're not just fighting the void. We're meeting a part of ourselves we never knew existed. But as this revelation dawned, the quantum interface reached its limit. With a deafening crack, the main apparatus exploded, plunging the lab into darkness. The connection broke, and the void's tendril recoiled from Earth, retreating to the outer solar system. In the smoking ruins of the lab, Sarah, Marcus, and the others picked themselves up, forever changed by what they'd experienced. They had survived the first direct contact with the void, but more importantly, they'd discovered its true nature, and perhaps humanity's as well. The technology can be rebuilt, Dr. Lix said, helping Sarah to her feet. But we need to move quickly. The void will return, and next time, it won't just be a tendril. Next time, it will come with its full force. As emergency systems kicked in and the cleanup began, Sarah stared at the starry sky visible through the lab's shattered roof. They had about a week, maybe less, before the void returned. 1 week to prepare humanity for a confrontation that would determine not just Earth's fate, but perhaps the very nature of consciousness in the universe. We need to tell everyone, she decided. No more secrets, no more hiding behind quantum computing projects. If humanity's consciousness is going to face this challenge, we need every human mind focused and aware. Marcus and Dr. Lix exchanged worried looks. Revealing the truth could shatter the very consciousness field protecting Earth. But Sarah was right. They were past the point of careful experiments and controlled variables. It was time for humanity to face its greatest challenge, ready or not. The human factor. The truth, when it finally came out, didn't trigger the panic everyone had feared. Instead, something remarkable happened. When the world's governments simultaneously broadcast the existence of the void and humanity's unique consciousness field, people responded with an outpouring of creativity and determination that strengthened the very barrier protecting Earth. Sarah watched from the newly rebuilt Quantum Consciousness Lab as social media exploded not with fear, but with ideas. Artists created stunning visualizations of the consciousness field. Musicians composed pieces designed to resonate with the quantum frequency of human thought. Writers shared stories of hope and resistance that spread like wildfire across the globe. "Look at these readings," Marcus said, gesturing to the monitoring stations. "The consciousness field is stronger than ever. It's like humanity needed a challenge this big to realize its full potential." Dr. Lix and her team had shed their human disguises entirely now, working openly alongside their human counterparts. "We're detecting quantum resonance patterns we've never seen before," she reported. "Human consciousness is evolving, adapting in real time." But it wasn't just about art and creativity. Scientists and engineers worldwide began contributing to Project Prometheus, offering innovations and insights that transformed their understanding of consciousness technology. Traditional rivals set aside their differences, sharing research and resources in a global effort to survive. Sarah had been right about one thing: humanity needed to face this challenge together, fully aware of what they were fighting for. The consciousness field wasn't just a barrier, it was becoming a bridge, connecting human minds in subtle but profound ways. People are reporting increased empathy, shared dreams, even moments of spontaneous insight into complex problems. Marcus noted, reviewing the global data feeds. "It's like we're becoming a collective intelligence without losing our individuality." But the void was returning, and this time, it brought its full force. The entity that had consumed countless galaxies now turned its complete attention to Earth. The darkness at the edge of the solar system grew, spreading like ink through water, blocking out the stars themselves. Humanity's response was unprecedented. Instead of cowering in fear, people gathered in parks, theaters, and public spaces worldwide. They sang, danced, created art, and shared stories. Each creative act, each moment of human connection, strengthened the consciousness field. "We're detecting something new," Dr. Lix announced one evening, her crystalline form vibrating with excitement. "The quantum resonance patterns, they're not just defensive anymore. They're reaching out, trying to establish a more permanent connection with the void." Sarah studied the readings. The consciousness field had evolved beyond their original designs, becoming something organic and alive. "It's like humanity's collective creativity is trying to heal the void rather than fight it." Marcus nodded slowly. "All this time, we thought we needed a weapon. But what if what we really needed was a way to help the void remember what it once was, to reconnect it with the consciousness it lost?" The lab's instruments hummed as they detected a massive surge in the consciousness field. Around the world, people were reporting intense shared visions, glimpses of the universe as it was before the void's consciousness shattered, when all awareness was connected in a vast, cosmic dance. "This is it," Sarah realized. "This is why humanity developed consciousness the way we did. We're not just a weapon against the void. We're the key to healing it. Our ability to create, to imagine, to hope. It's exactly what the void lost when it was broken." But as the void approached, its full power bearing down on Earth's consciousness field, a new challenge emerged. The sheer intensity of the connection was overwhelming. Maintaining the field while trying to heal an entity as vast as the void would require more energy than they had ever generated. "We need everyone," Sarah announced. "Not just active participation. We need every human mind fully engaged in this moment. We need to show the void what consciousness can be when it's whole, when it's connected without being consumed." Dr. Lix's team worked frantically to modify the quantum interface, preparing it for the largest consciousness-linking experiment in history. But would humanity be ready for such an intimate connection? Could billions of individual minds work together without losing themselves in the process? The answer would come soon. The void had nearly reached Earth's orbit, its darkness now visible to the naked eye, a great curtain of nothingness descending from the sky. But as humanity prepared for its greatest test, something unexpected was happening in the quantum consciousness field. The barrier wasn't just holding, it was singing. Dawn of a new era. The day the void made its final approach to Earth. Humanity faced it not with weapons or shields, but with a symphony. Billions of minds joined together through the quantum consciousness interface, each contributing their unique voice to a chorus of thought and creativity that rippled through space-time itself. Sarah, Marcus, and Dr. Lix stood in the central quantum consciousness lab, monitoring the unprecedented merger of human minds. The consciousness field had evolved far beyond their original designs, becoming something organic and alive, a living bridge between individual thoughts and cosmic awareness. Every human mind is synchronized, Marcus reported, his voice filled with awe. Not just the conscious thoughts. We're seeing synchronization at the quantum level. Dreams, memories, hopes, they're all flowing together. The void's darkness had enveloped the planet now, but instead of the instant consumption that had destroyed so many other worlds, it hesitated. Through the quantum interface, they could sense its ancient awareness responding to humanity's chorus of consciousness. It's remembering, Dr. Lix whispered, her crystalline form resonating with the quantum frequencies. Through humanity's connected consciousness, the void is remembering what it once was. The memories flooded through the quantum network, the birth of consciousness in the universe, the original unity of all awareness, the tragic shattering that had turned one aspect of cosmic consciousness into the hungry void, and humanity's consciousness, with its unique blend of individuality and connection, creativity and logic, showed the void a path back to wholeness. But the strain was immense. Maintaining such deep connection between billions of minds while bridging to an entity as vast as the void pushed human consciousness to its absolute limit. People worldwide reported intense sensations, shared visions, merged memories, moments of profound insight into the nature of reality itself. We're approaching a quantum criticality, Marcus warned, watching the readings spike. The human mind wasn't designed to handle this level of connection. If we don't find a way to stabilize it. Sarah felt it too, the overwhelming pressure of billions of connected minds, each one struggling to maintain its individuality while contributing to something greater. But in that struggle, she recognized something essential about human nature. We don't need to stabilize it, she realized. Our strength isn't in permanence or perfection. It's in our ability to change, to adapt, to create something new from chaos. We need to let the field evolve naturally. As if responding to this realization, the quantum consciousness field began to pulse with new patterns. Around the world, people stopped trying to force the connection and instead began to play with it. Artists painted with shared dreams, musicians composed with intertwined thoughts, scientists theorized with merged intuitions. The consciousness field became a living artwork, a constantly evolving expression of human creativity and connection. The void's response was extraordinary. Instead of trying to consume this new form of consciousness, it began to resonate with it. The darkness that had devoured galaxies started to transform, becoming something neither void nor field, but a new form of cosmic awareness. Through the quantum interface, they received a message not in words, but in pure understanding. The void had been searching for a way to heal itself, to remember what it was before the shattering. In humanity's unique form of consciousness, this beautiful balance of individual creativity and collective connection, it found not just a memory of what was lost, but a vision of what could be. Dr. Lix's instruments recorded something unprecedented. The void wasn't just retreating or transforming, it was integrating. The quantum consciousness field had become a template, showing the cosmic entity how consciousness could be both individual and connected, both empty and full, both structured and creative. Look, Marcus pointed to the main display, where the darkness around Earth was transforming into something else, a shimmering network of consciousness that stretched out to the stars themselves. The galactic consciousness that had been shattered eons ago was healing, but not returning to its original form. Instead, inspired by humanity's example, it was becoming something new. A network that preserved individuality while allowing deep connection, that encouraged creativity while maintaining harmony. As the transformation spread across the cosmos, the alien observers received urgent messages from their homeworlds. The effect was rippling through space, reaching distant galaxies. Everywhere it touched, consciousness evolved, becoming richer and more complex while maintaining its essential nature. Sarah felt the change in her own mind, a deepening of awareness that didn't overwhelm her individuality but enhanced it. Around the world, humans were experiencing the same evolution, not a loss of self, but an expansion of what self could mean. We did it, Marcus breathed, watching the readings stabilize at a new level of complexity. We actually did it. Dr. Lix's form sparkled with joy. No, you did it. Humanity did what no other species could. You showed the universe how to be both one and many, both connected and free. You've given consciousness itself a new way to exist. The dawn that broke over Earth that day was like no other in human history. The sky shimmered with new colors as the transformed consciousness field became visible to human eyes. The stars seemed closer somehow, more alive, each one a note in a cosmic symphony that humanity had helped compose. The Galactic Alliance's representatives arrived openly now, no longer needing to hide. But they came not as advanced beings greeting a primitive species. They came as equals, eager to learn from the species that had transformed the very nature of consciousness in the universe. Project Prometheus had succeeded beyond anyone's wildest dreams. Humanity had indeed stolen fire from the gods, but instead of keeping it, they had shown the gods themselves a new way to burn. The universe would never be the same, and that was exactly what it needed. As Sarah stood in the lab, holding Marcus's hand and watching the new dawn, she smiled. Humanity had faced its greatest challenge, not with weapons or shields, but with the very things that made them human: creativity, connection, and the endless ability to imagine something new. The void had been filled not with light or darkness, but with possibility.